Howdy, welcome back to the shop. I am getting started today on finishing this little clamp, three-way clamp. So here are the pieces so far, and my next step is to take the threaded parts. These three threaded parts have to be threaded through here, and then the little end, I want to call them end caps, but they're kind of like the clamp jaw pads. Anyways, I put this one on just so that you could, it's just threaded on there right now though. It comes right off. And so all of them are tapped so that they go on the threaded rod really well. And then I'm going to put a little bit of solder right in there and hopefully solder it without any of the other solder flowing and freezing anything, because we want this to have full actuation. And so that's going to be like the major stressful part of this. If you've been following along with the previous episode, you already know I had to kind of start over for the back spine of the clamp and recut, this section and resolder it onto the threaded tubes. But I've got a trick or two up my sleeve on how I'm gonna try and prevent it from flowing or from any of the solder from reflowing. So, but once that's done, I will feel so much better. So let's get to work.
As normal, booting up all the cameras. Making sure that the microphone is on. And then getting to work. So I'm cleaning up that solder slop that I left for myself at the end of the last studio session. And that's just, one of those 3M snap discs with the abrasive on one side. Oh yeah, and then I do go in with a hand file, so just trying to clean it up best I can. I don't want to accidentally nick the lip of the tube or anything though, so just taking it slow, and I'm using really fine files. So there's benefits to either using the flex shaft or, that's a round file. But for a second I was using a square file. So each one has kind of its benefits and its drawbacks. And so that's why I use a combination of the two. Just working intuitively. And I flushed up that center tube with the back spine. And then I got a little yellow, I call them finger wheels, but they're like these abrasive wheels. And I do that for polishing. And I got a split mandrel. And my little sanding sticks. I should put together a shopping list for you, huh? Yeah, so these are those little 3M finger, like abrasive, it's like a rubber, but the fingers get in and all around in a really nice and smooth out way. It's like a buffing wheel, but you don't have to add the compound. It's infused in the material. And they're different grits, So yeah, I'm cutting down these tapped, the threaded elements, and after I cut it, I kind of will use the end. I'll use the die to recut the end of it after I sawed it off. And this stuff, which you're probably wondering what the heck it is, it's yellow ochre. So this is what I was talking about when I said I had a few tricks up my sleeve. Really, it's kind of, this one was my first trick, and it worked. So I just stuck with it. If it works, stick with it. And so I painted that yellow ochre all over all the solder seams and where the threaded pieces meet together. And then I put in my flux, right exactly like on that threaded element of the jaw pad. and getting the solder station set up, which is also a task. Because if I melt this, I want to have like 5 views of it happening. So just setting up the solder job, getting the cameras going. Yeah, so I already had the flux on it, remember? And I just put in, and that, see that red, little tiny red dish? It says E on it, so I'm using Easy Solder. I don't know if you've ever seen me use Easy Solder before. I use it in extreme circumstances. Look at, I'm like, I did it. That's the victory dance. I also was listening to some nice tunes, you know. I've got those noise canceling earbuds, wireless, so it's great. It helps me focus, you know. Not only do I like listening to the music, but it helps me. Sometimes I'll pause the music, but I like how they cancel out ambient sounds, and so I'll just wear the earbuds. I'm giving you too much information about my personal activities, but yeah, sometimes I'll just like wear the earbuds with no sound coming through them, just because it's calming and it helps me focus. I can't explain it. It's kind of like I'll tell you another personal, because I'm just like, let's see, I'm just doing the same thing, like cutting the threaded rod, making sure the threaded rod is going to thread through the tapped tube. And then, yeah, I'm painting it all with the yellow ochre, all of those components, everything. I think everything that's like movable or could fuse or is soldered. So I'm feeling a little bit more confident, feeling like the yellow ochre is working in my favor. And also I'm not pickling the piece in between each solder job. It's just staying dirty because that little threaded element and the jaw pad wasn't in the last solder job. So it's like completely pristine. And so then I just put the flux and the solder on it. Remember, easy solder, so it just goes like at a really low temperature. You know, it's not like leaded or anything. It's not like brazen. You still need to have a torch, but you can get away with like souffle torches and stuff with that easy solder. See, now I've got the third one and it's like completely pristine. So I'm gonna paint that one that I just finished soldering, you know, paint it with yellow ochre, and I even back it out, paint the threads, and then like insert it into the tube, and I'm just refreshing all of the yellow ochre from the last solder job. And then I put the last one in and paint that. I don't use yellow ochre very often, but when I do, it is exactly what I need. Yeah. And then the flux. And I'm going to solder. And now at this point, I know, like, it's in the bag. I got this. But this is kind of why I don't do jewelry or jewelry repair. Because, like, imagine if this was somebody's, like, grandmother's heirloom, I don't know what, necklace, brooch, ring, and I had to do something like this. It's just so much pressure. And, of course, they'd want you to do it for cheap, for not what the stress is worth. They want to get a deal. So I just don't even, because if I mess this up, I made it I made it almost twice. Like, the reason why I should tell you, this is at the end. I'll tell you in the next episode.
All right, I just got it out of the pickle and I'm super happy. I'm so relieved. Oh, I should make sure that this is recording. like I was saying, I am so happy with the way that this has come out so far. So yeah, there's like some cleanup that I gotta do, but it's looking really good. So I think that what I'm gonna do for the rest of this session is cleanup work. And I'll save the stone setting for tomorrow, and then tomorrow it'll be done. So like my tomorrow for you is actually going to be next week, because I will be releasing tomorrow's studio. Like I'm going to be releasing what I record tomorrow a week from when you're watching this right now, if you watch it on the day that I post it. So I just am going to use a variety of different little flex shaft 3M little abrasive wheels. I don't know. I'll do a time lapse if you want to stick around. Stick around and see how it goes. But that's it for right now. I guess I should say goodbye, because this is just going to be kind of like a montage time lapse of me, you know, doing the finished work on this piece. So that might not actually be interesting to you, which if it's not interesting to you, then feel free to go watch something that will be interesting to you. But if you leave now, I just wanted to say thanks for joining me in my studio today. Knowing that I was going to be filming for you helped motivate me to come down here, and I'm really happy that you're enjoying my projects, enjoying my videos, and that like my art is something of entertainment to you. So there's that. Thanks so much. And yeah, now I'm going to get to finishing. All right. Okay. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Mwah!
Oh, okay. I'll tell you really quickly. The reason why I reused the tubes is because I didn't have enough tube to cut more. Like that was all the tube that I had. So that's why I unsoldered it, cut that one off, and then pulled the others off with the heat. Because I didn't have any more tube of that size, and it was exactly what I needed. And I didn't have time to order any more. So I don't know if I said that in any of the videos, but we'll see when I edit the final thing together.